Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Late Night Trek. We are doing Season 2, Episode 2, Where Silence Has Lease. Whatever the hell that means. If you would like to watch along, then please get your digital versatile disc or your shitflix or whatever it is that you're watching it on, Blu-ray, pocket calculator, I think I said before, and press the timestamp to 0, and at the sound of the now, press play now. Oh, I'm going to turn the sound down as well.
There we go.
So this opens with a scene that I have referenced many times, which is Worf and Riker flying around a jungle gym fighting Skeletor.
Oh, that's this episode.
Yeah, it begins with, and then they're all nervous about it because they know it's going on. They know that Riker's doing Worf's dangerous ass program.
Okay. I had no idea that this was that episode.
It's a bit like, yeah, it's a bit like knowing that your friend is currently about to do bungee jumping or something. With his weird friend that doesn't seem to have any regard for health and safety.
Excellent.
So this is episode 2 of season 2, right? So this is right out of the gate. We don't have Tasha Yar anymore, and we don't really, this is them trying to beef up the Worf Klingon character. They're trying to give him something.
I admittedly never really felt that Tasha Yar had a great place in the cast. Like, she didn't... I didn't think there was a whole lot of value added there, to be honest.
Well, it's one of the reasons she left,
Yeah.
She left because she felt that she wasn't getting enough character moments. And actually, right at the end, once her leaving was already a done deal, I think they'd already shot it, actually, she actually got a couple of moments which she really liked. Yeah. And she said later on, if I'd gotten more character moments like that, I might have stayed. Because that might have given me hope that, okay, instead of turning down all these movies I'm doing or whatever, I can stay on this show and I can actually do some proper acting.
Fair enough. I do think the cast was a bit... I think the core cast was a bit too large with her, not necessarily with her, but with an extra person. Yeah. I think it was just a bit too much.
I actually can't remember whether they're all the same number of cast, whether they kind of ironed that out. Because, to my knowledge, Deep Space Nine has the largest, because you've got these extra characters like Garak, who are so regular. They're not actually series regulars, but they're in so many episodes that they're effectively like another extra character.
But they are still kind of B characters. Like, TNG started off with Picard, Riker, Worf, Tasha, Crusher, Data, Geordi, all in... I think I got... Did I miss someone?
I think you got everyone, yeah.
All in the A characters. I think having 7...
I'll get you next time, He-Man.
Oh, I think having 7 main characters is just a bit too much.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I think I get that.
Especially because her and Worf were kind of vying for the same place.
But they always try to, later on they sort of beefed up some minor characters, like they introduced Ro Laren.
Yeah.
And then you've got Miles O'Brien and his boring relationship with his wife.
Oh, I like good, well fleshed out B characters, but they're still the B characters.
Oh, this does not hold up to Blu-ray so well, does it?
No. But that's okay, we love it anyway.
Yeah. I love that you can just tell the computer to create this, whatever this is.
Yep. I would have gotten away with the 2 if it weren't for you pesky kids and your meddling Klingon.
And
Oh, come on, those.
And Tom Paris.
Yeah.
This is a bit like, let's fight Skeletor. What's the setting? Well, it's going to be if the jungle, came to witness.
Oh, come on, Riker. Play along.
He's got the bloodlust. He's got the Klingon bloodlust.
Aw, play along. You're no fun, Riker.
I do love how that exit just gets copy-pasted.
Yeah.
That would be unnerving. If you had like a bad experience with the holodeck, you'd probably want, every now and then, you'd just be like, computer, exit. There's the exit. Like, oh my god, I was on the holodeck this whole time.
They did try that in a few episodes when some of the characters are freaking out about if they're in the real world, and they just say, exit holodeck, and see if the door shows up.
That happens. I can't remember which one that is. But then they have a little smile afterwards. They're just like, it's okay.
I'm not in the holodeck. I feel like that would just become a daily ritual. Exit holodeck. Alright, I can start my day.
So, this cold open showed us nothing. This showed us nothing to do with the real... It makes me think that perhaps the rest of the episode wasn't long enough.
Yeah, probably.
Or something like that, and they threw this extra bit in.
They probably filmed it at some point and said, well, we'll just copy and paste this into whatever episode needs it. Now,
so I picked this episode. The reason I picked it is that I think it's a really interesting example of a sort of early version of what became a classic style of Star Trek Next Generation episode, which is weird stuff's going on, they don't know what the solution is, they try several things, and then eventually they find a solution at the end.
Yes.
Also, reasoning with a higher being of some sort, or an entity that is super, super powerful, can apparently do anything, can manifest entire starships at will, can prevent you escaping wherever they've got you caught, even at full warp and so on and so forth, which they take an awful long time to figure out. But that's part of the problem, is that it's also fairly slow paced. It feels more like an original series type concept for an episode. In fact, I almost wonder if this was actually
a borrowed script
from Phase 2. Because the previous episode, yes, the child...
Oh god, the child.
Yes.
We will not be watching that episode.
I mean, we might. If it depends how drunk we get.
Remember, I hold a veto.
That's true.
You already vetoed one of my choices.
I did. Which one did I veto?
Anything to do with Troy's mother.
Oh god, I couldn't. I don't know. Manhunt. I can't do Manhunt.
I think Manhunt is freaking
It's
hilarious.
not Star Trek. It doesn't have anything Star Trek in it.
It's so damn funny.
It's terrible.
I know. That's why it's funny. It's just awful, and I love it.
So the Irish one is Will Bowen's in this. What?
Also, I love watching Picard be immensely uncomfortable.
True. That is okay. That aspect of it is funny, but that's funny for about 2 minutes.
Disagree.
So Earl Bowen.
Yeah.
Who was the doctor? He's the psychologist who analyzes Sarah Connor in Terminator.
Oh, okay.
Is the voice of Nagilum.
Oh.
I don't know if I ever noticed that before.
Interesting. Also, you'll all have to excuse me. I'm still a bit sick, so...
Yes.
If you hear me coughing and the like...
Well, Annalise is bravely struggling through to do this podcast to entertain you all, so, you know, fair play to her. Fair play to her.
It looks like a little video game.
Okay. The dialogue is very important here. It's like a hole in space.
He's been studying a stranger.
You're just trying to sound clever, Data.
That's a good point.
Yeah, he's not so stupid after all. She feels nothing. Ooh.
Is this one of those ones...
There is no record of any Federation vessel recording anything remotely like this.
Didn't this happen in the original series?
There's a very similar... I can't remember what episode it is right now.
Okay, well, we all know that Kirk...
It's not Tholian Web. It might be... Oh god, I can't remember what episode it is. Anyway, there is an original series episode where something... They even describe it as a hole in space. And I did see a meme at somewhere in the Star Trek fandom that said, "Look, Kirk, this is why you got to do your captain's logs."
No. See, this supports my theory that because all of Star Trek basically is narrated as the captain's log.
Right.
This supports my pet theory that no one actually listens to the captain's logs. It's just entirely something that the captains do, A, for themselves, and B, in case they get blown up, someone else can watch it.
Yeah.
But no one, unless you get blown up, no one actually does
nobody ever
anything.
checks whether you've been making captain's logs or not.
No one actually listens for their content to see what's been going on the ships.
Yeah.
I love this. We go yellow alert. Why? I like yellow alert. It's my favorite color.
Just like my uniform. Oh, the Klingon legends.
Oh, goody. I mean, I guess it kind of matches up with the beginning because we're kind of exploring the Klingon.
I think, devour entire vessels. I think you're talking about Vija there, Mr. Worf. Now, I'm aware you just fought Skeletor, so your fight and flight response is going to be rather high, so just chill out a little bit.
Oh, Skeletor.
I don't think that was a still of the Enterprise. There were no blinking lights.
Yeah. Of course you do, Worf. What is Riker doing with his hands?
I don't know. He's trying to warm them up, like he's just been skiing or something.
Well, he's like feeling up his armpits.
Yeah. Or he's trying to do that hand fart thing.
What is he doing?
Yeah. It's a really odd stance.
This is not a natural position.
No. So yeah, but basically this, for me, this is the beginning of a kind of... It's very similar to Times Squared, which is another episode we almost picked.
Okay.
Which is strange anomaly. The ship is investigating, and they get sucked into it, can't get out. You know. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
It's kind of like a bobbit worm or something. Just goes nyah.
Bobbit worm. Well, I think yellow alert might be appropriate now.
But yeah, it's just a little bit too slow paced. They don't, the action doesn't ramp up quite enough. They spend an awful lot of time like throwing sensor buoys into it and scanning it with various things and having long discussions about what it could be. It's kind of it's the most like Star Trek the Motion Picture that TNG really ever got for me.
Yeah.
And the influence of Gene Roddenberry is very obvious.
I think these kind of episodes play better now, though, than they might have when they originally aired. Because if you're binging Star Trek, as we do, you're having some Maltesers there.
I'm having some Maltesers, guys, by the way. That's what I'm doing. Go on.
If you're binging Star Trek, occasionally it's actually nice to get to an episode that's a bit slower, as a bit of a break. But when you're watching them live and you only get a new one every week, it was quite a disappointment when you get to a slow one. Well, if you're having Maltesers,
you're gonna have your chocolate buttons.
I'm having orange chocolate buttons.
Because it's been that kind of a day, guys. I don't know what to tell you, but we're having chocolate buttons.
Yep. Hey, I'm shit.
We had a good evening, though. Annalise cooked us a lovely meal.
I did.
We watched my brother's stream. He played some Dad of Boy, by which I mean God of War.
Yes. Edible Games on Twitch.
He punched some sentient trees.
Yep. It was good.
So we've had a nice, relaxing afternoon, evening.
But I'm chick, so I can eat whatever the hell I want.
Oh God, doesn't Pulaski get some... She gets like sexually molested or something by the alien later on. It's like she's trying to get hands off of her or something. It's really horrible.
Ugh.
Well, because it starts doing nasty things to them. It starts like randomly killing them and stuff. And you've got one of the most hilarious red shirt death scenes ever committed to film.
Oh, good. Well, that I'm excited about.
But it's weird. It's gruesome. It's confusing. It's got everything that bad acting should have.
Sorry, Pulaski just called him a device.
Okay, so you know what we said the other day about her having a bit of an arc?
Mm-hmm.
This is her at the very beginning of that arc. In fact, she's not even got off the ground yet.
This makes me want to throw my toilet paper roll at her head. Also, she has the same hair that my grandma had. It's weird.
She does kind of have grandma hair.
She
It's
really
true.
has grandma hair.
It's 80s.
And not in an endearing way.
Yeah. It's very 80s.
Oh. She has grandma hair and she's racist towards Data.
Everything an 80s grandma should have.
Oh, God. Why? I mean, I know why, but that Riker pose right there. With the leg up.
Oh, his lunge, yes.
Yes, his lunge.
His half lunge. Well, for some reason, Jonathan Frakes decided that Riker should just man-spread everywhere.
For some
Look
reason.
at it. There you go. You got some man-spreading action. In the
For
background
some
there.
reason. I think we know the reason.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do love that shot where it kind of... I just want to put on, like, a sort of car burning rubber skid, skid sound effect over that.
Mm-hmm. I like this lighting on the bridge they're doing right now with a bit more shadow.
Yeah, although I gotta say, I did prefer the lighting later on in season 3 onwards, where it's very even.
Yeah, I don't know.
There isn't so much shadow.
Just in this specific scene, I think it gives it a certain amount of we're in the dark. Yeah, it's good.
You're in Pac-Man land now.
Oof, this would be so terrifying.
It is very... I mean, yeah, that's the thing.
I've
It gets
established
a little
that
bit...
I'm eating chocolate buns.
Yeah,
There's
okay.
gonna
okay.
be some
There's
rustling.
going to be some rustling. Alright, that's fair enough.
The boys and girls can deal with it.
Girls. You mean boys.
Nah, yeah.
I don't know, maybe Becky will listen to this, who knows. That's quite a nice shot of just the lights coming towards you, so you can't see anything. There's a similar sort of thing in Voyager. There's one episode of Voyager where they're in some sort of void. And they can't get... There's several episodes of Voyager with a void. I think they're in a large expanse of space with no stars.
Isn't that Year of Hell?
No, it's later.
No.
It's in season 5. It's Night. It's called Night.
Yes, and they have months and months on end of just black.
Yeah, they're just, and if it wasn't, they wouldn't even be able to tell that they're going at any velocity except that they know that the warp engines are providing propulsion, It's kind of unnerving. But I think that's more like what real deep space travel would be like. Is that they're, especially if you're going far enough, if you're going in interstellar space, there would be absolutely no light.
Oh, yeah.
For most of the journey. There'd be nothing to see.
Yep.
And once you've accelerated to the velocity you're going at, you wouldn't have any idea you're even... Uh-oh. Bless you. Do you need to leave the room?
I'm fine.
Okay. Increased warp 2. As if that's going to help.
I like the idea that there's loads of people on this ship right now that are off duty, just in their quarters.
Yeah.
And there's no yellow alert. There's nothing out
They
there.
have no idea what's going on.
They're just gonna come on duty and be like, okay, what do I gotta do today? Wait, we're in the what? Also, it must be really unnerving every time you hear a red alert because you have no idea what's happening if you're off duty. It's like, oh god, what's attacking us now?
Red alarm.
Red alarm. Oh god.
We say that a lot now.
We do.
Red alarm.
If you haven't seen Lower Decks, go see Lower Decks.
Yeah, Lower Decks is great. It's the only good new Star Trek thing.
It really is.
I think possibly for the last 10 years, it's the only new Star Trek thing I've actually liked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since the end of Enterprise, really.
It's also nice that for the past, that finally after 10 years, they've made a Star Trek franchise that's actually meant for Star Trek fans.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that I sometimes have a bit of a problem with the way that things being for fans, like because loads of people love Wrath of Khan now, but lots of fans probably wouldn't have liked Wrath of Khan all that much.
Yeah.
Because it was so different from previous, but it
was
very popular.
Some of the new shows have made it very clear that they don't have a hell of a lot of respect for the old shows.
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
Started the interest.
It's refreshing to see. Oh, for God's sake! Just one shot of Warbird. It is refreshing to see a show that actually seems to care
about
and
the
pretend
original fans.
Well, it also it's the first show to acknowledge that anything from the original shows actually happened.
Yeah.
Because they have this weird thing where they will say, "See, we brought back Spock. See, we brought back the Enterprise. See, we brought back XYZ." But it's just a reference. It's just member berries. It's just
member berries.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. So, 1305E is the Yamato's registry, right? Mm-hmm. The next time we see the Yamato, which is in Contagion, which we've previously done, I think it has a completely different registry.
Interesting. I've always kind of wondered if with the Enterprise, because obviously they're the flagship. They also have sister ships of the same class. Mm-hmm. But since the Enterprise is the flagship, I kind of imagine that the interiors of the other ship are just a little bit more shit. Like, they have one or two fewer holodecks. They don't have visitation labs. They don't have as nice dining halls, that kind of thing.
You got to have the endgame content.
Yes.
you got to have Picard's reached flagship captain. That's the best you can get in Star Trek Online.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's anytime they show you the bridge of other Galaxy classes, though, there's always little weird things different for no reason. They've always, like, that back archway has always got stuff thrown, kind of draped on it. And
Ooh, are we doing Shellcraft?
No, we're gonna beam over to the ghost ship.
Ooh, fun. That sounds
right. So that's our Act 2.
It sounds like a really terrible idea. I mean, if you know that it can't be the Yamato, even if it looks like the Yamato, is it really a good idea to beam over to it? Like, what if it's an illusion? You beam yourself into the void of space.
Yeah, maybe take a spacesuit.
Yeah.
Just in case, like, oh no, there's nothing here. I'm clipping through it, It's like Gary's mod.
There we go.
You're just drifting through this.
I like that we have an episode of just Riker Worf bonding.
Yeah, is that what that's meant to establish? I suppose it is. Yeah.
I think so. I think we're establishing
they've been in combat before.
That we're doing some Riker and Worf bonding.
Okay.
Which everyone wanted. Clearly everyone wanted. Oh, good. No, it's not.
It's that classic thing of, it's the exact sets, but we've lit them slightly differently. But we're going to cut it together like, as if they're rearranging themselves spontaneously. There's an episode of Voyager that does that. I think it's called Twisted, where the kind of, the ship's layout keeps reconfiguring.
Oh, yeah.
However, you never see anything really weird, except for the bit where Janeway opens a Jeffries tube and it's all going.
There's an episode of Doctor Who that does that, and it gets really freaky because it also starts to mess with time.
Oh, okay.
And so occasionally, the characters run across the other person they're with.
Right.
But that other person's been lost for like 50 years.
Oh, no.
And then they turn the corner and they find the friend from 2 minutes ago again. I'm like, but I just saw you, and you were, and then when I went that corner, you were a skeleton.
Oh, Jesus.
It's good. I quite like it. It's quite creepy.
I mean, obviously in the 1980s, they couldn't quite do the ship rearranging itself because they built the sets as they were. This is a bottle show. They don't want to build any new sets for it. Except the holodeck jungle gym, I guess. You see what I mean? Like, this doesn't really give you an awful lot of character. This is just, oh, there's a problem. We have to solve it. End of the episode, they've solved the problem. There's nothing more to it than that. That's something that definitely Trek later on got better at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Because I did see a review of The Next Generation once. I can't remember who this was by, but basically saying, yeah, there's two types of Next Gen episodes. There's real stories that are about the characters conflicting with something and, dealing with their emotions. There's many like that with Picard, or there's the one where Worf gets paralysed.
Mm-hmm. Wait. Which one is that?
There's a season 5 one where Worf gets paralysed and he wants Riker to ritually kill him.
I do not remember that.
Maybe we haven't watched that one in a while. It's a good one. But he says the opposite of that is the kind of... It's just an account of some stuff that happened. There's just nothing. And they take ages to figure out that there's weird stuff going on. That it's just like, wait, if there's a bridge in there, how can there be a bridge in here? It's like, just drags on a bit. Like, this could have been cut down.
It's like, well, it probably drags because, like you said, that opening segment had nothing to do with the plot. So they probably filmed this episode, and it was, 10 minutes short. So they figured, all right, throw in this beginning segment and figure out everywhere we can pad out the plot.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it doesn't seem like an idea that's, I'm trying to think of a later one. Because there's some later episodes which are really great horror mystery episodes. Like, there's the one where Riker keeps disappearing every night. People keep disappearing off the ship every night.
Yes.
And they don't know where they're going. It turns out they're being abducted into some alternate universe or something. Really scary. One of the I think one of the most terrifying ones. But the way that ramps up the tension is really masterfully done. Obviously, that's much later on in the show. That's like season 6.
Yeah.
So.
I am looking forward to start to watch it. Oh, creepy. I am starting to look forward to watch a few more season 4 or 5 episodes.
Mm-hmm. We thought we'd sort of start with the early ones and work our way onwards.
Once we feel like we've exhausted the good episodes of 2 and 3 and the hilariously bad episodes of 2 and 3.
Not too bright, Worf, is he? Ship has one bridge, one Riker, and then he gets angry with the door.
Yeah. He's a grumpy Klingon. But there's a reason why he's, not head of engineering. I do like watching with captions and just seeing snarling.
Yeah. This is obviously toying with them. It's like, yeah, you can get out, but you have to leave your people behind while you do it.
Well, it's like it's experimenting. What will they do?
Yeah. Well, that's the solution in the end.
Oh, is
so
it?
It turns out that they are being toyed with. It's kind of. By the way, I don't know if anyone can hear the wind.
It's unreal.
Storm Gerald, or whatever it's called, has just hit Dudley. Storm Dudley.
Oh, does it actually have a name?
There is a giant storm hitting the UK at the moment.
Oh, okay.
It's particularly bad in Scotland. I think they've shut down all the trains and stuff.
Oh God.
But yeah, it's been really windy this evening. Omar's earlier.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, hi Omar.
Hi.
Hope you're okay. Omar said earlier on Ed's stream that it was really windy in Nottingham. So
okay.
And Ed said it was windy in Manchester. So there we go. We got 3 points across the whole country.
It's windy.
We know it's windy.
Oh, I would like if it let up a bit, but I suppose if I have to stay inside sick anyway.
Yeah. I mean, we weren't going to want to go for a 3-hour walk or anything.
No. By the way, I don't have COVID. I have had a PCR.
No, yeah. Annalise is okay.
I've had the PCR. I'm on the mend.
And thus far, I have no symptoms, so maybe I've gotten away with this.
Knock on
somehow.
all the wood. I think you'll have to wait another 2 days to see if you've gotten away with this, as you say. You can't even warp 5. Get out of there.
See what I mean? Like, this is just not the most exciting way they could have done this.
Yeah.
You know, this could have been executed more, in a more sort of...
It's like, oh, the door's open. Oh, the door's closed.
Yeah.
Oh, the door's open. Oh, the door's closed.
Like, you know, later on in the later ones, when things like this are happening, the crew gets separated.
Yes.
And they have to figure things out for themselves. Like, they're all in different parts of the ship. And
you get to see
they're
how
going,
different characters work together.
Yeah.
And...
I was trying to get to engineering. Oh, I'm trying to get to the bridge. You know, that happens a lot in Voyager, you know. Now, what we need them both to say is, warp particles!
Oh, Troy being useful as always. Oh, there's so many jokes right there. So many jokes.
Yeah. We wouldn't insult your intelligence, dear listener, by even trying to point them out. You know what we mean.
Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love that actress, and I think Troy at her best episodes is a really great character.
Oh,
but
yeah.
her writing...
She gets a bad rap.
Yeah, the writing, it's just that the writing for her in the early seasons was really crap.
Mm-hmm.
And that's entirely the writing's fault.
I mean, arguably the writing for all the female characters were terrible, which is one of the reasons Tasha Yar left.
Yeah, well, one of the reasons Crusher left.
She left as well, you know.
I do not blame them for 1 second. Like, Troy does actually get some good episodes later on.
Ah!
Oh, I forgot about that.
It is unnerving.
Oh god, it looks like a 90s screensaver.
They hit that perfect, you know, it looks like it could be a baby, but it also looks like, you know, the most terrifying thing you've ever seen.
It looks like Crazy Frog. Don't like it.
I feel like the wind adds to the kind of spooky...
It does.
Oh, you know what we should do next time it comes around to Halloween? We should do all the spooky ones.
Oh, definitely.
We're going to do commentaries to all the... We're going to do a Halloween season, guys. You heard it here first.
It's February and I can't wait to decorate for Halloween.
The alien entities always notice that there's one member of the crew different.
Yes.
Because there always is one, you know, you have your Odo, or you've got your holographic doctor, who's got to be, you know... Oh, here we go.
Thanks for telling us what the ensign's name is. Oh no!
Here we are. She's getting frisked. Ugh. It's horrible.
But
you are the only woman in all of Star Trek at the moment.
Well, Troy's also on the bridge.
Yeah, it's horrible. This is quite funny. Well, go on. Get down to it.
Well, I mean, you have Riker and Troy.
Yeah.
I'm sure Riker would take one for the team. It's unnerving me that it seems like the face is like freezing.
Yeah. I'm not sure how this effect was done, but yeah, it's absolutely horrifying.
I don't like it.
Oh, here we are.
No.
Here we are.
No! What the hell? I completely forgot about this.
How did you forget about this?
I don't know. Maybe I repressed it?
The most bizarre death of any on-screen character. I think that's weirder than any other on-screen death in all of Star Trek.
Jesus.
Because he also has like his hands in his... He's like sucking his thumb or something. You can see his nostrils flaring as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a choice. I'll say that.
I mean...
It was a choice.
I'm not faulting the actor. He did not have much to work with there.
A great line delivery by Picard there. He loses me a little bit. The drama kind of is gone.
Yeah.
We can't allow you to do that.
Yeah.
It's a little bit...
We can't allow you to murder us. I mean...
But his line delivery, it's like he almost... He has a tiny bit of a smile. I don't quite buy his performance, is what I'm saying. But yeah, I mean, there's a whole raft of Star Trek episodes where something's doing experiments on the crew. Some of which are really good. There's a number of ones that are really great. There's a really great one in Voyager called Scientific Method.
Okay.
Which is where invisible aliens have stuff attached to everyone and only 7 can see them.
Ew.
Do you remember that one?
I remember that one. That one is a good one.
That's a great one. And again, it's because they reveal the mystery piecemeal and there's weird stuff going on in a way that's intriguing. Like, this is arguably not... it's losing interest.
I do like that one. That one's quite good.
But it's interesting because it's the first time they tried that kind of story.
Yes.
It's kind of prototype of the later episodes. Like this, it's clear they had an idea. They're like, we want there to be a basically an all-powerful entity. We want the Enterprise to be lost and can't escape. Mm-hmm. We also want to have a dialogue with this entity where we say something about humanity and what humanity is like, and that humanity doesn't like being captured, doesn't like being experimented on, that we need freedom. Yeah, that's kind of the thesis of the episode, and that's the thing that eventually, they don't just blow him up. Mm-hmm. They have a discussion and they actually work things out, and they understand each other a little bit at the end. Well,
that's a much more Star Trek solution to the problem, I would say.
Right. But I would argue that this is, it's got all of the pieces, but they weren't put together in the most exciting way.
Yeah, also, Picard kind of goes from 0 to 100 here.
Right.
Like, usually he'll have exhausted a few more options before he goes to self-destruct.
It's more like, we need an exciting ending. Let's blow up the ship.
20 minutes. I like that.
I love that he literally pulls that out of his arse as well.
I mean, how you...
Well, it's alright, I'll go and
It's not really an answerable question.
Yeah.
I actually find that little scene kind of funny.
I'll go and read some Count of Monte Cristo in my quarters.
Picard's like, do we just get it over with? Or do we, give people time? That's the other thing. Picard decides... Later, Picard would not make that unilateral decision like that. He would at least consult his bridge crew. He would be a bit more thoughtful about it.
And also, I don't think he'd just go to his quarters.
No.
He'd go on the bridge. This is... You know what this was? This is... We need the captain to be separate. Mm-hmm. So that... For this scene, he has to be separated from the rest of the crew.
Yes. But, I mean, he'd at least be in his ready room.
Gotta say, if I had a large enough room with a sloping roof, I'd do it up like this.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
How awesome an attic hangout room would this be?
That'd be so cool.
That'd be so brilliant. Actually, the one we have, the bedroom upstairs here, is a little bit like
it
has a sloping roof, and the bed is right in the sloping roof.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
That we should remake that room as Star Trek quarters? It's not that hard to do. Wasn't there a guy who made his whole house into a Voyager set?
At least his living room, I think. I think we should do this.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll need a fish tank.
Gotta have a fish tank. Gotta have some plant pots. We already have some of those.
Gotta have a purple chair.
Purple chair, purple upholstery.
Just a couple of boxy things. I think we're right on track.
Right, so here's your sort of thematic. This is what it's like to exist as a human. It's also a little bit like the wonderful scene. I think one of the best ones of these they did was the pilot of DS9, where Sisko has to explain what it is to be a limited human being.
Yes, he has to explain linear existence
to an entity that lives that is beyond time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Wonderful. What is a Euclid?
I do like Data just basically walking in and saying, Picard, what is the meaning of life?
You chose a hell of a time to ask me that question.
I have 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, he says
Aha. There's his first clue.
Are you?
Don't trust you. We have 19 seconds, Captain.
Imagine if he was wrong here.
Yeah.
Everyone on the bridge is shitting themselves.
Right. Like, what's that guy? Does he even know what's happening at the back? He's like, I just came on duty. What are we doing today, guys? Another wonderful day in space? Could it be another trick?
Oh, that's
Yeah, the count.
one hell of a game of chicken.
The ticking clock scenario here just feels a bit extraneous. It doesn't feel like it really belongs in this story.
Yeah. That's funny though.
This is quite cute, yeah. Nice little bit of. Picard might be old, he might be done with life, but I'm not. I've got lots of women to bang.
Little Data smile. You have a way of stating the obvious, don't you, kid?
We should all be very afraid of Captain Picard. Yeah.
Data's micro expressions are just.
He did more of them earlier on.
Yeah, I think that I enjoyed
like
those.
The other day when he throws Geordie out of the way.
Yeah,
he goes,
like,
Right again.
Oh god, I hate it. I hate the face.
This character assassination of humanity.
Yeah. You're one to talk. Yeah. And will blow the shit out of you. For randomly murdering a crewman.
Yeah. and assaulting Pulaski.
Yeah.
Ugh. Nightmare. It's nightmare fuel.
Oh, that episode.
It's got some creepy stuff. It's good.
It does.
Like it's it's interesting.
I can't believe I forgot that one.
Yeah, it's poor Charles Douglas. Cole Meady, he wasn't even O'Brien yet. Transporter chief.
Oh.
He was just the transporter chief. He wasn't even given a name until later on, I think. But yeah,
I'm a real boy now.
I know. Well, there we are. So.
Indeed.
Final thoughts on Where Silence... What the hell is that title?
It's
Where Silence Has Lease. What does that mean?
I think if it was a 15-minute mini episode, it would have been remembered much more fondly.
Mm.
I actually really like it. I can't believe I forgot it. It's much better than I remember. But
yeah,
it just feels like it never quite gets into gear.
Right.
Like,
it's definitely a Phase 2 script.
Yeah. It feels like it's leading up to something and never quite gets into it. But I still really like it. It's a good one.
Oh, well, yeah. I think I've already explained why I like it.
Yes,
it's a prototype for a later kind of episode that I think was more engaging the next time they tried it.
Yes.
Particularly with, common ideas with it. It's a little too close to Q. The idea of Q is a little bit too similar to what Nagilum is. Really, he's he's a super powerful entity that's just curious about humanity and wants to test them and mess with them.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think by this point, maybe Gene Roddenberry's imagination on his own was beginning to get limited.
Yes.
However, he brought on a whole group of writers who were able to flesh out Star Trek to what we now really know it is.
Absolutely.
People like Renee Echevarria and Ronald D. Moore, Brannon Braga, and Michael Piller, and so on. Those people were brought on, and the reason Next Gen became so popular, I think, is partly, if not mostly, because of those writers and the stories that they told in this universe. All right, well, there we have it.
Indeed.
That's our little button on this. We will be back shortly
Indeed.
with another episode.
Tatty bye.
Tatty bye.